Yo, what's up, everyone? I am literally across the street from a cotton field in middle Georgia. And I feel kind of, you know what, I don't feel anything. Because that's not what we do over here at D. Bailey Speaks. We are achievers, we're fathers, we're conservative thinkers. We live our lives in a conservative manner. We don't blame others from our problems. We lead in our communities, and we lead in our families, and we lead in our homes. So I'm going to welcome all of you. If you're tuned into this channel, if that sounds like you, I'm going to ask that you please subscribe, like, comment, share this video, share this channel with someone else. Okay? We build our communities, we build businesses, we support our local police, we're active in our communities, we're all around upright citizens. You know, we're veterans, we rise to the top in everything that we do. So if that sounds like you, if you're like me, all right, you strive for growth, you strive for better leadership, I'm going to ask that you please join the community, all right? Stick around for this video. I got some interesting content that I want to share with you guys. Let's go. As I was saying, I'm across the street from a middle Georgia cotton farm, and I found it very interesting that it still existed. Okay, I'm from the South. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia, and you know, travel quite often requires that you're gonna run into some remnants of, you know, cotton, tobacco, and all of those staples that, you know, you may find relative to some of our unfortunate history. But yeah, I was taking my son to enjoy some jump time, and I saw a cotton farm across the street, and the old liberal victim self, you know, man, young boy growing up in the South, the instinct was, you know, was wow. Okay, but you know, I had to catch myself, and that was not my, you know, my feelings weren't that of a victim, you know, I feel some type of way mentality. All right, but I wanted to share that with you guys. I don't know if you knew this or not, but the United States is the leading producer or the leading exporter of cotton, all right, of raw cotton. That's correct. You heard me. The United States is the leading producer, exporter of cotton, all right. I think the next question is, you know, I don't even think it's a question. We're not utilizing slave labor to produce that anymore, you know, apparently. However, we are still producing. We're still producing it beyond what any other nation is producing. And what that leaves to the imagination is, you know, what is producing that, you know, and it's machines now. So naturally, that would leave any, in my opinion, that would leave any black person who has a victim mentality, who has that mindset of, you know, cotton, immediately relating it back to slavery, would think is, you know, who cares anymore? Who cares, you know, about that history? You know, it's just that, it's history. Okay, and when I say not care, I mean associating cotton, the whole idea of cotton, with slavery. Okay, you must detach from that. Okay, and let it be what it is. You know, it doesn't make sense to hold any ill will or emotion attached to the whole idea of cotton farms still existing, because you will be hard pressed to find anything inside of your home. The average person, that is, will be hard pressed to find anything inside of your home that is not made from cotton. Okay, if you are using something, if there's a market for something, it only exists because it's being patronized, it's being utilized. All right. If you want something to, in a capitalist society, if you want something to go away, you take away the whole ecosystem. And it starts with the demand for it. All right. So enough of that. I just found that very interesting, so I wanted to share that with you guys. I wanted to go into share with you guys, our day. I just spent some time with my son. We woke up very early this morning, and we decided we planned to attend a Home Depot workshop. I like to use that as an opportunity to teach my son, to encourage his interest, his attributes, or his aptitude for building, designing, inventing things, engineering things together. This morning he made a gingerbread house. So the skills that he used are that of, carpenter, builder, whatnot. I'm gonna put that in the video. But yeah, check that out. I wanted to challenge you guys to extend or ask yourself, what type of learning are you putting into your children, into your sons? And the reason I'm asking this question is, of, are you putting more investment into your sons or your children's education outside of school? And this is something that I've always been concerned with, but it became a little bit more prevalent to the front when a few months ago I decided I wanted to pursue education, or I wanted to kind of do some research on the whole education career path. And I did just that. I didn't go and take all the certifications and whatnot, but I did begin the process, and I wanted to get some hands-on, some practical experience. And it was an opportunity for me to get into the school systems, one of the prominent school systems in the metro Atlanta area. And I became a substitute teacher, and I was faced with the rude awakening. I was a little bit idealistic, a little naive, when I thought, it would consist of me getting in there, taking my passion for teaching children, educating children, to bringing out, passions and attributes. I thought that was going to be the environment, but what I found to be the case was a lot of the time being placed into this machine, or this wheel called the education system, or the public education system, that is. Let me reiterate the public education system. What I discovered that a lot of the time and efforts, not just for myself, but from the passionate educators, those educators with these master's degrees, the PhDs, a lot of their time and energy was placed into disciplining these children. And I find that extremely warped. That's not where it should be. That's not where tax dollars should be placed. And it didn't make sense to me as a Marine, as a man, as a successful business person, real estate broker, developer, all these things. It just didn't make sense to me. It was backwards. We compare our school systems with all these competing nations. It's extremely backwards. A lot of people would like to justify it and say, hey, they're children. They're children. But the only thing that does is highlight the idea of, why are these children the way they are? And it directly leads to the idea of home. The idea of home, what's being taught before these kids get into school, and what's being done when these children are at home. What I found to be the case was there were a lot of kids that could not focus. You guys probably want to say, okay, they have ADHD. They have this disorder, this, that disorder. That may be the case. Okay, I'm not a mental health professional. All I know is that, I don't encourage, blaming. I don't encourage, pointing the finger. I think there's a solution, there's a cause. And a lot of these, these issues stem from, television, lack of attention, lack of investment from their parents, and just neglect in general. I recall going to work every day, getting off, being extremely exhausted, mentally that is, because it's not a physically demanding profession. It's more so mental, psychological. The children don't respect you. I had a young girl, 10, 11 years old, tell me that I stink. Mind you, I was probably wearing one of my best colognes that day, but that's, neither here nor there. It was just total disrespect. You can see a lot of the issues at home from their behaviors. You tell the kids 2-3 times to do something, they ignore you. They know that there's no consequence. The boys, they put everything, a lot of the little young black boys, they put everything into their, they look forward to recess and lunch. Okay? I recall being one of these children. I'm not going to, deny that, but that does not justify, doesn't even justify my experiences. I had a lot going on at home, moved around multiple times throughout Metro Atlanta area. To be exact, I recall moving about 13 times, attending 11 schools. I think I probably put that in one of my videos. But I say that to say that there's those are the causes from the issues. However, it does not take away the solutions on how we address, the solutions that we put forth in addressing these issues. And it points back to the whole public education system. It's putting out what we're seeing right now in the news. It's putting out the sexy reds, the little kids, 6-year-old rapper flashing money, little RT or something to that effect. As parents promoting hip hop as a career path, which is leading to nowhere. If some of you probably going to put your comments down there below disputing or justifying it, but good luck with that. All right, good luck with that. But yeah, I have to ask, what efforts are we putting into our children outside of school? Are we just exploring what their career paths are going to be? Are we encouraging? Are we putting things in front of them that speaks to their natural attributes, their natural strengths? Are we removing them away from those things that we know that are not going to yield positive results economically, financially? Are we even assessing what their talents and abilities are? And that's what I mean by what are we putting into our kids outside of school? Because school is definitely not going to yield an upright. It's not going to naturally yield an upright. It's not by default. It's just not going to happen. You're just not going to put your kids inside of a 8-hour a day program and expect them to be great. Expect them to do anything other than what we've done. Okay. The sports, the basketballs, the footballs. Okay, this is great for keeping them busy, but if we're looking for greatness, we got to put in greatness. We have to teach our kids those things that we've learned since we've failed. These things that we've learned from public school. These things that we learned that needed correcting. All right, putting them in the chess clubs, the things that make them think, the things that make them strategize.
I play chess with you.
Right? We're still putting our kids in these, political science, these basket weaving, these degrees. Even the idea of just going to four-year college, right? What physical skills do they have? Carpentry, for example. Again, I think I mentioned before that I took little man over to Home Depot. All right, I want him to learn to build a house. And I say that I know this from personal experience as a real estate broker developer. That's an invaluable skill. Everyone is out here working, crying, which I understand completely, crying that they can't afford a house, and I get it. I see it every day. Okay, go out and build that house. Buy a piece of garbage. Teach your kids to build carpentry. Teach them electrical. Teach them plumbing. All right? Someone needs to know these things. This is where the value is. Okay? So this is what I mean by pouring into your children outside of the whole 8-hour a day public school curriculum. All right? But yeah, guys, those 3 weeks, a month as a substitute teacher were absolute hell. They were absolute hell. All right? And it made me decide to go harder with, exploring my son's purpose, his attributes. And I wanted to present that question over to you guys. What are we doing to, to pull those gifts, those talents, those strengths out of our children? All right? Just a little thing that, I wanted to run by you guys. Let's discuss it further. I'm going to save that, save what I have for right now and try to pick back up a little bit later. If you have not viewed any of my content, I'm going to ask that you do so now. Visit my playlist at D. Bailey Speaks. Hope you guys find value in it. If you've enjoyed this content, I'm going to ask that you please subscribe, like, jam that notification bell, leave your comments, and most definitely share this video. All right? I hope you guys, the B-roll footage I'm going to add into this video, it's been a good one. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. D. Bailey Speaks. I will connect with you guys on the next video. Peace.